Well, hello everybody. Well, I'm finally here in Ellie Beach, and I've got to say I'm so happy to be on the other side of the last 4 weeks. I'd say the trip to Adelaide was good. The 5-day intensive practical with my clinical hypnotherapy course was wonderful. It was so special to meet lovely people that are also doing the same course that I am, and we were very much in sync with wanting to incorporate a little bit of spirituality into our practices. But I tell you that being there in person and actually facilitating trance and just watching the way that people let go and actually find a way to make peace with what's been burdening them for so many years. I did witness a little bit of resistance with a couple of other people, but that's okay. Myself, I decided to just let the tears flow, and I had a good healing process, I guess. What I thought was my issue actually wasn't, and that's what's one of the surprising things about hypnotherapy is, you can come in with one particular thing that seems to be the issue, but once you start to delve into the deep-seated emotions behind what you're feeling, quite often turns out to be something completely different. So in that respect and many other aspects as well, it was just a wonderful experience, and the hotel that I stayed in was very nice. It was comfortable. It was called the Comfort Inn. A little bit noisy, I suppose, when you're staying in those apartments where people are banging doors and they don't sort of stop to think, well, it's 10:30 at night and maybe we won't slam the door and the cupboards and the sliding doors. But anyway, that's what you get when you stay in those sorts of accommodation. But look, it was fine, and the conference room where we were doing our inductions and lessons was right downstairs in the lobby, so it was very, very convenient. But anyway, so 2 days after I got back from Adelaide, then I had to finish packing, and the removalists came on the Saturday. That was the 30th of August, and they told me that they would be delivering my furniture on the Monday, the 1st of September. So I had booked to have my flight on Sunday the 31st, and then they were going to come at 5 in the morning on the 1st of September. So I flew up on the 31st and I booked into the Reef Gateway Hotel just for an overnight stay. I no sooner booked into the hotel and I got a phone call from the removalists asking me if they could possibly come at 8:30 that night to drop my furniture. And initially I wasn't happy about that. I said to them, look guys, I'm exhausted, I've just checked in. If you're coming at 8:30, that could be 9:30, and there's going to be people in the block of units that I'm living in that need to get up and go to work in the morning. Anyway, the driver was not insistent, but virtually pleading with me if he could please possibly come and do it that night, because he had another run to do back to Brisbane. So I said to him, look, let me just process this, get my head around it, see what I can do, because of course I still didn't have my car. My car was still in transit. And so I said, leave it with me, I'll see what I can organise. And so once I calmed down a little bit and had a good think about it, I then realised that provided that they could come on time at 8:30, he said it would only take them 30 to 40 minutes to unload. So I thought, okay, as tired as I am, I probably don't trust myself to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to get over to the unit to meet them at 5. So I rang him back and I agreed, and he was very, very grateful. And as it turned out, they came on time. It was all done so efficiently, and they dropped me back to the Gateway Hotel, the Reef Gateway, where I had a wonderful sound sleep, and I slept until 8 o'clock the next morning. So in hindsight, I was really happy that I didn't have to get up at 5 and meet them over here. So that worked out really well. But since I've been here, I have just been so at peace and so relaxed, because instead of hearing sirens and just cars revving, rev heads and hoons, and ambulance sirens, police sirens, I'm sitting here listening to, yes, there is a truck out the back, but I'm listening to the most beautiful bird sounds, which has prompted me to grab this beautiful bird book. This is a book that my father bought for me quite a few years back, and it's a book on Australian birds, second edition. It's absolutely beautiful. And my parents lived in Mapleton for many, many years, and of course there's just so many Australian birds up there. And he wrote, "Dearest Lisa, with love from Dad, October 8, 2021. So that was my birthday 4 years ago. And I've just been looking out the back at some of the beautiful birds that I have seen, and there was this sound that I remember from Mapleton, and I'm going to do the sound. It's sort of boop, 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 boop. And I always remembered that was a pigeon called the Wonga pigeon, and it used to drive my father to distraction. He would be trying to have an afternoon nap or doing his meditation, and these Wonga pigeon, but they sound like they're going whoop, boop, whoop, boop. And there was one on the clothesline this morning when I went out. So as I was looking at the Wonga pigeon, I also noticed there was like a little tiny, I guess they're like a finch or a honey eater. And I decided that I'd get this book out and see if I could find the particular bird. But as you can see, it's got so many different little ducks and things that you can find in Australia. And I just went through, look at these beautiful parrots, and these are the kingfishers. They love me. But as I was looking at this Wonga pigeon up in the tree, I noticed this tiny little bird about this size, and it wasn't a finch. Finches are little tiny honey eaters. There were two, and they were just like a browny colour with a yellow spot right near the eye. And I just thought, I want to go and look up what that is. And I've been all the way through. So this here you can see has finches just there. So it tells you the page that you can look up finches. So I thought I'd have a look at that first. So page 396, there are some finches. So it's just going to have a look through 396. Where is it? 3. That's right at the back. Larks. Here we go, finches and mannequins. So I was trying to have a look through and see what this bird was, and also because you can see here all the maps of Australia down here, and I can see like this is where I am, so I'm more in the top part of Queensland up here. So areas like this, these birds wouldn't be. So the black-throated finch, that's part of northern Queensland, and the chestnut-breasted manakin. Now the body of this chestnut-breasted manakin looked, because you've got the juvenile and you've got the adult there, and I felt that the colouring of the feathers of the juvenile was pretty close to what I saw. However, it was missing the yellow dot on the eye. Look at these gorgeous finches, the colours on these, they're beautiful. The beautiful faces, red faces. And up here in Queensland we get lots of the king parrots, which are just beautiful. They're green with the red on them. They're just absolutely gorgeous. We've got lots of parrots up here. But parrots, they make a lot of noise. We've got a tree out the back. Parrots love the bottle brush trees. And they get in there and oh my goodness, they make a mess, and they have such a parrot party. But I'm glad that the tree is on the other end of the block of units, not at my end. And I'm lucky because I'm at the far end, and I have a young French man that lives above me named Anton. And I met him the other day, and he is a FIFO worker, so he works in the mines. So he's only here 2 weeks on, and then he's away for 2 weeks. He's pretty quiet anyway, which is good. But my concern about this unit was that I'd be able to hear noise upstairs, because that just drives you mad when you can hear people thumping around upstairs. But I can't really hear him at all. I can hear him lightly walking, but I mean this is a thick, heavy Besser block unit. But anyway, he's away for 2 weeks, and that's wonderful. And there's nobody next to me at the moment. There is someone upstairs, up on the top one, but it is so peaceful. It's just so peaceful. And today I'm going to the sailing club for lunch. I'm going to meet my new friend Maya. And Maya works at Marina Shores, which is where I stayed when I first came up to Ellie Beach the first time. And then the second time that I came up, I caught up with her again, and that's when I was looking for somewhere to live up here, and she said to me, I'd only met her twice, and she said, if you do end up moving up here, you've got a friend. That just warmed my heart, and I just thought, well, that's so different to where I am in Sydney. I was there for 6 months and nobody came and introduced themselves to me. There's a little bird out the front, can you hear it? There's gorgeous. That's a butcher bird. It's just on my patio out the front. There's two of them. So they might sing a little song for you in a moment. But yes, I'm so very, very relieved to be on the other side of the Adelaide trip. That 5-day intensive was good, but I was exhausted when I got back, and I'm so glad to have the move done. Oh, and my car arrived 2 days after I got here. So everything just went so swimmingly, seamlessly. It was a very different story when I moved from Queensland down to Sydney. My furniture, the transport truck just mucked me around so much. And my car, the car company that I used, and I'll say the name. No, I better not. Logistics is on the end of it. They were just absolute nightmare. They charge you $250, and they just don't come and pick up your car. They say, when would you like us to pick up your car? And you give them a day, but they don't come. And then a week later, they still don't come. Then you try to ring them and they don't answer your call. So, it's P&S Logistics. That is the name of them. Look them up. Look at the reviews. P&S Logistics. Do not ever use them. He's an American-based owner, and it's an absolute rort. So I rang them up. I grabbed my daughter's phone. They weren't answering my calls. But when I used my daughter's phone with a different number, somebody answered. So I cancelled the order for them to pick up my car. I said, this is an absolute joke. Mind you, I didn't look at the reviews, neither did my daughter. We both neglected to do that, and we both look at reviews, but this time we didn't. But if you look at the reviews of P&S Logistics, oh my goodness, if only I had have looked. There's not one good review. I think it might be one or two, but they're from people from overseas. But anyway, I finally got hold of somebody, cancelled it, but they charged me the $250. You don't get that money back. So every time they make a booking, it's like they know they're not going to come and pick up your car, but they know they're going to get $250. Anyway, this move was obviously meant to be because it went so well. I just want to show you, have a look at these beautiful birds. These are called pitters. Pitters, P-I-T-T-A-S. And these are up in North Queensland as well, and I hope I get to see some of those. They're beautiful. Absolutely just so colourful. They're as colourful as some of the fish at the Great Barrier Reef. Look at these two little darlings. These are wood swallows. They're all cuddled up together. Isn't that beautiful? So precious. But you know, when I came up the last time, these are the kingfishers. We see these all the time in Queensland. They're just beautiful, the kingfisher. And the kookaburra, of course. You would all know that Australia is home of the kookaburra. That's our typical laughing kookaburra right there. And they're just beautiful. And I had a couple in right out the back the other day. I've been here since, what day did I get in here? Monday. Since Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, the other day. I'm losing track of time. But now I'm here. Look at that beautiful. That's a painting of two kookaburras sitting in a tree. It's just beautiful. This book is absolutely gorgeous. So beautifully put together. But I went through and looked at the finches, and I just have not been able to find what that little bird is. The bird's called swifts. so many little yellow birds and red birds, but I think my favourite, because of all the colours, would be the parrots. They're just sensational. Oh, these are called shrike tits. Look at the hair. The hair. Looks like they've got hair, like mohawks. Okay, whistlers. No, it wasn't a whistler. This book is so good in the way that it shows you the juvenile, the female and the male of each species, and it also down the bottom shows you the eggs, what the eggs look like, so that you can identify them if you're out in the wild. The currawong, the black currawong, they kind of freak me out a little bit, the currawongs. Then we've got the magpie, that is so native to Australia. And then we've got the crow, or in America would be the raven. So the big black raven. Just beautiful. And there we go, so we've got the Australian. It gives you the different sizes of the eggs. The Australian crow, the forest crow, the little raven, the little crow, and the Teresian crow. And their black feathers are so black, they're almost blue. Now we've got the butcher birds, the fantails, and flycatchers, monarch flycatchers. It's that one. No, it's not that. Because this little bird was so teeny tiny, I'm going to say it would have been possibly a juvenile. But I can't be too sure because I can't seem to find this actual little bird. But it was such a tiny, it was kind of like this, but with the yellow dot. See this one here? It's quite like that, but it had just a little, just on the cheek, you know, like just near the eye there. It's just such a teeny, tiny little yellow dot. Oh, no. There's a whole heap of different little birds, small birds of the bush, but I'm not seeing anything that remotely. Oh, the Christmas Island. Looked a little bit like that. No, I'm confused now. I should have got my camera and taken a photo of it, but I can see it in my mind's eye. But I'd really like to know what it is, because in this book I mark off whenever I see a bird that's in this book. I always mark it off. And when I lived in Mapleton, that was the rainforest, and oh my goodness, the birds. The birds that we used to see and hear up there were just absolutely beautiful. Birds that you just don't see in the city, you know. Although, you know, when I did live in Sydney, you'd probably, I think a few of you would comment that you could hear some birds in the background, but nothing like here. Oh, there was a pheasant in the front yard the other day too. Gosh, they're funny to watch. And in the front yard, there's two big coconut palm trees, and there's in between there's three big clumps of palms, and the two coconut trees is home to a cockatoo here, and this white cockatoo gets up there and he makes such a racket. Anyway, I was standing out the front chatting with the neighbour across the road yesterday, and right behind me, donk, a coconut fell down. He said, probably we shouldn't stand here. And he said, don't ever park your car along the side of the road there either. You'll get a coconut through your windscreen. But anyway, I'm just so happy that I could just touch base with you all quickly and just say hello and let you know that I'm finally here, and thank you again for your kind words and lovely support and your patience when I've been moving. But I'm pretty sure, I'm 99.9, no, I'm 100% sure I'm not moving again. This is it, I'm done. I'm staying here with the birds and I'm looking forward to life up here in the Whitsunday Islands. So I will take you all around. I'll do a video of some of the beautiful places here, because I'm going to go and have a look at places like we've got Dingo Beach and Hideaway Bay, Mandalay Bay, and Bowen, and also Magnetic Island. So when I do some day trips, I'll make sure to take my equipment with me, hit play and take you along with me as well. But anyway, until then, I'm going to head off and go and have some lunch at the sailing club with my good friend Maya. And I wish you all a very pleasant, beautiful and blessed day or evening. And I will talk to you all soon.